Hey, good morning, guys. This is a repairability attempt from Mr. Hernando Jones. For the adjuster watching, we have here our wind damage shingle. I'm going to mark it with chalk just so we can see it a little bit easier. I'll show you guys the tools that I'll be using today. It's going to be that all-in-one roof snake tool. Precision nail puller for those hard to get nails, a hammer and nails. I'm going to use the flat end of this as it's designed just to break the seals on the ones directly above this damaged tab, so we can identify which tab this is a part of. So the shingle consists of 3 tabs. So I'm going to go ahead and just mark our area right here. So this is the shingle that we're going to be replacing. The affected area is going to go up 2 courses for the adjuster watching. There's 2 courses of shingles, 2 courses of nails in each shingle. So this is going to be the area that we're going to have to lift up. We're going to have to put new nails in. We're going to take the old ones out. So I'm just going to, just as carefully as possible, just continue to break the seals right here. This roof is pretty old. And then the shingle itself. And just doing a double check, make sure everything's loose. All right. Now, before we really start pulling any nails or anything, let's get just an area overview. So if you just kind of put this area, and then just work your way down, just kind of slowly showing the before of the condition of these shingles, how they look before we start pulling any nails or anything like that. All right. Now we're going to start pulling nails. Let's get a before of this shingle. This is the one I'm going to be pulling a nail out of. You can see the condition of the shingle before I pull the nail out. Now I'm just going to lift just slightly. Now if you get a side view of this, you notice it's not even 45 degrees. It's more like 30. Just enough to be able to dig this one nail out. Right? And I just want to hammer it just enough, and you guys can see the during, and you can see where this crease up here is starting to form up at the top. And I just want to be able to remove this one nail. I'm going to give it a couple taps, just kind of knock any loose granules off. And we just get a close-up right here, starting over here and then working our way down. You can see where that crease is starting to form in that shingle. You can see where the fiberglass matting's actually cracked, it's broken, and it does go all the way across the entire span of the shingle. More noticeable on this right side. Now let's go over here to this next one. Let's get a close-up of a before condition. All right. Now I'm just going to lift it just slightly, same as in the last one, just to be able to dig this nail out. So we got the before, we got the during, so you guys can see this happening in live time. All right, and I'm just going to go ahead and pull this out. All right, and same as the last one, just going to want to get off those loose granules. So if you follow my finger up here at the top, you can see where it kind of jumps around right here, but you can see all the way over on the entire span of the shingle where that fiberglass matting's actually cracked, it's broken. It's definitely impairing functionality at this point. Seems to be kind of a common theme. Let's get it before the next one. Yep. All right. I'm gonna lift just slightly. Just gonna be enough to be able to get this nail out, and then just grab the nail head with this precision nail puller and pull it out. Just like in the other two. Oh wow, seems to be kind of a common theme. So on this one, you can see where that stress point was a little bit lower. You can see where that fiberglass matting is cracked along the entirety of the shingle, compromising the functionality. Seems to be kind of a common theme here. Let's go on to the next one. Let's get a good before that. And rinse, wash, and repeat. I'm just gonna go ahead and lift it just slightly. Being careful not to crank back on the shingle, not to lift it too high. And you guys can see this in live time. As I just get enough to be able to get that nail head here. All right, I'm gonna give it a couple taps. And just like in the other ones, you can see up along the entire top of this shingle where that fiberglass matting is actually cracked, it's broken as well. Now this shingle is actually broken. So that's the entire first course seems to be compromised functionally just from pulling the nails out. Now we're going to be working on the second course. All right. So the next one we're going to be pulling a nail out of is this one right here. Let's go ahead and get a good before of that. You can see the condition of this shingle before we pull the nail out, before any lifting or manipulating is done. All right, and then the during, we're gonna lift it up just slightly. Now this one's got 2 nails in it, so I just wanna go ahead and pop the first one up, leave a little space to be able to get the tool back under it. And the second one right there. And I just wanna finish off by pulling this nail out. Now notice I'm not overly bending the shingle up. I'm still not even past 30, 45 degrees. And same kind of deal. We're just gonna give it a couple taps, knock off any loose granules. And this one's kind of wide. You can see where the fiberglass matting's starting to crack up along in this area, and most noticeably over here. That one is not as bad as the rest of them, but still I had some stuff that looks different before than after. Let's go on to the next one that we're gonna be doing. Yep, let's get a good before. Here's the during. You're gonna lift it up just slightly. And you're gonna pull this one out. All right, and just like in the other ones, you just give it a couple taps. As you can see up along in this top area, up in here, right here through the middle, and right over here where this actually, the fiberglass matting is actually cracked, it's broken on this shingle as well. Let's go on to the next. Get a good before of that. Get a good before of this one right here. All right. And lift it up just slightly. Most repair guys aren't this careful. You guys saw the before. Here's the during. And just kind of knock off some of those loose granules. And here's the after, and you can see pretty clearly along this top section right here where that point of stress is on this shingle. Where that fiberglass matting is cracked, it's broken as well. Now it should just be pretty simple. Should just be out with the old, right, and in with the new. So we're just going to toss this old shingle to the side for the time being, and we're gonna put our new shingle in. I just want to clean up my work area here a little bit. And before I put the new shingle in its place, what I want to do is perform a visual underlayment inspection. So that's something that, a lot of the times is missed on the initial roof inspection, because you can't really see the underlayment because the shingles are in the way. But when we go to replace one, and this is a really good example. Let's get a close up here. Let's see how clear we can get this shot for the adjuster. You can see here, and I'll show you my finger. You can see here where that underlayment's actually wet. It's just rubbing away. I can just pretty much rub it like eraser shavings. It's definitely holding moisture, guys. Also on this side, there's a little bit of bubbling. So the underlayment's definitely holding moisture, and that's definitely due to the wind-driven rain right here at this wind-damaged shingle. Something that really needs to be accounted for. I know you can't see it during the initial inspection, but that's why we do a visual inspection when we replace this shingle right here. Whenever we do replacements, we definitely want to look at all those. I'd be willing to bet that every single one of these shingles that has wind damage also has underlayment that's holding moisture. It's water damaged as well. So in this section, I'm just going to be putting nails in. Everywhere I pulled one out, I'll be putting one back in. And I'll try to be quick. But I'm going to go ahead and lift just slightly. Start the nail off. And then drive it home, right? And just to prevent any wiggling, I'm gonna go ahead and just put one on the opposite side, right here. All right, and hammer it home. Now you can see with each hammer blow, these shingles are pretty much just raining granules down. All right, on to the next. And we're gonna hammer that one home. And so on and so forth. Now we're up on the second course. Now remember, everywhere I pulled the nail out, I'm putting one back in. here. And we got our last nail over here. And we hammer it home. Now for the adjuster watching, you can see that all of these shingles are physically and functionally compromised, as the fiberglass matting on these are actually broken. There's no sealant anymore attaching these at all. The next 15-mile-an-hour wind that comes by is going to blow these suckers off. We'd ask that you would review the fact that this roof's unrepairable. We would also ask that you review the fact that the underlayment is holding moisture from wind-driven rain, and that really needs to be accounted for as well. On the contractor end, this is not something that we can warrant or put our name on. If I was doing this repair for somebody, I would literally have to keep going back to my pack of shingles to replace shingle here, shingle here, shingle here, shingle here, so on and so forth, until the majority of this roof is just replaced, so that we don't have any kind of functionality compromising on this roof. On the contractor end, this repairability attempt has failed. We would ask that you would not put your name on this. Thanks.